Marcus Hayes for the Mighty Fight Hub TV with one of my favorite people in the whole fight game, Mr. Jim Lampley. Jim, we just saw comprehensively what's one of the best press conferences we've seen in quite a while. Tank Davis versus Frank Martin. What do you think about the way things shaped up today?
We saw 4 different personalities on the podium.
Not to leave
for that
out Benavidez and Boston.
Yeah. I asked Tank Davis in my interview with him, I said, was some of that aimed at getting under Frank Martin's skin so that he might be more apt to make the kind of mistake that sets a puncher like you up? And he said, yeah. He said that was definitely part of it. Some of it is I wanted to see how thin his skin is and how difficult it might be to intimidate him. Some of it is that this is a way to build interest in the fight and perform in my own showbiz persona. But yeah, I do think that I want to be the aggressor. And if he comes in and chooses to be aggressive also, that might play in my favor. Smart. I was impressed with Davis's acknowledged mentality going into the fight.
And with Tank Davis, a lot of people think that Tank Davis is just a power puncher, but talk to us about how cerebral of a boxer that Tank Davis is, and like you said, the way that he's able to set things up without his tipping off his opponent.
He spent a lot of time early on in Floyd Mayweather's camp. Anybody who didn't think that Floyd Mayweather was a cerebral boxer wasn't paying attention. Floyd was a cerebral boxer not only in terms of what he did in the ring with his craft, but also what he did outside the ring to put opponents off balance, put the media off balance, get everybody to either fear him, hate him, love him, have some emotional response one way or the other. It all plays into the chemistry of selling fights and becoming an attraction. Floyd Mayweather was an attraction for the people who liked him and wanted to root for him. It was also an attraction for the people who really disliked him and wanted to root against him. They all buy tickets. They all buy pay-per-views. And Floyd was quite aware of that.
To the co-main event of this fight, we've got David Benavidez, Alexander Lustig. Talk to us about that fight and David Benavidez having his coming out party potentially at 175 pounds. Says he sounds like he wants to blaze his own trail and is leaving the Canelo thing behind.
I don't rule out that David Benavidez ultimately winds up at heavyweight. He weighed 235 pounds.
He he supported it just now, where he even said that maybe I go up to cruiserweight here afterwards, so you can tell.
He weighed 235 when he was 13 years old. You know, the story is now well known. It's just a matter of putting all the bricks back in the right place as he goes back up the weight scale. He stepped away from being a blubbery 235 at 13 years old and chose to become an athlete so that he could change his approach and went all the way down to 168-pound athlete. Probably spent some time at middleweight. I'm not 100% certain, but at the end of the day, he's a spectacular talent. He has tremendous punching power. I got one of the most interesting responses I've ever gotten in one of these kinds of pre-fight interviews when I asked Vosnik. I said, you sparred with him in Oxnard years ago. How did that go? And Vosnik said, not well. I was not really ready for somebody who had that kind of power and aggression, and frankly, those sparring sessions didn't go well for me. I said, not even your jab, which I think is one of the best jabs in boxing. He said, didn't work against him. And I mean, that was a remarkably honest response. Vosnik went on to say, of course, this will be different. I'm really motivated to go in and reverse that and put on a show of how I can beat him. But at the end of the day, he acknowledged right up front that he had trouble handling David Benavidez back in the day when they were sparring together in Oxnard.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. What an omission. Prize fighters usually don't say things like that. He's so candid.
I had never seen anybody be that honest in one of these kinds of pre-fight interviews. But hey, you know, if you look at Vosnik's life at this moment, a lot of his family and his friends are in Kharkiv under the threat of Soviet bombs all the time. So why lie? You know, he's ready to tell the truth about everything in his life and go in and, by the way, this is a dangerous fight for Benavidez. He's going in against a man who's on a very high-minded mission.
And speaking of that high-minded mission, like you say, a guy that's fighting with the whole country behind him.
100%.
Whole country behind him. How does he kind of turn the tables on David Benavidez? Do you think there has to be something big, like he lands something big right away on David Benavidez to kind of gain David's respect, or you just see him getting bombarded?
I don't think it's smart to go in and try to trade bombs with David Benavidez. I mean, I'll go back to what I started with in that conversation. Bostic's jab is special. You know, it's a long jab. He can use it 2 or 3 different ways. He beat Adonis Stevenson, who was regarded as one of the biggest blow-you-up punchers in the sport at the moment when he beat him. So he's gotten past somebody who has the kind of power that Benavidez has. Let's wait and see what happens Saturday.
From one blow-you-up puncher to another, maybe of a lesser degree, Ryan Garcia, big left hook blow-up puncher, back in the news 2 weeks after his victory over Devin Haney, failed drug test. A sample comes back, failed. B sample just come back. We just got word that the B sample now has come back hot as well. What do you think about that, and how does that change the landscape of the victory that Ryan Garcia scored over Devin Haney now that it's been confirmed?
I don't know if you saw the Sean Porter text where Sean listed all of the various people and parties and institutions whom Garcia has now blamed for the positive test.
He told me the devil yesterday.
Yeah, and it's a long list, and my basic response is VADA doesn't lie. VADA's for real. VADA's a legitimate scientific research organization. They have done a great job of helping boxing to clean up performance-enhancing drug policy. If VADA says that Ryan Garcia's A and B samples were hot, I'm saying they were hot, and that has to be dealt with.
Last,
I like Ryan Garcia, but I think he's off the beam.
We're a couple hours away from the exchange between Canelo Alvarez and Jaime Munguia. Jim, if I could, what are some of your last thoughts before we end up seeing these two meet each other in the center of the ring tonight?
Well, I think one of the things that has made Canelo great throughout his career is his demeanor. He's a tremendous professional. He fights from a calm, even keel all the time. He's technically pure. He has as much punch resistance as anybody in the sport. And logic tells you if Munguia is going to beat him, he's going to have to land something big and hurt him. It's very hard to hurt Canelo Alvarez. So I think he is a solid, logical favorite in the fight. And I spent some time with him in his dressing room yesterday. And the general impression I got being in Canelo's dressing room yesterday is that he's not terribly worried about Jaime Munguia. He feels like he's got this, and on we go.
You know, Jim, I would like to ask you, we talked before about Jaime Munguia, and you told me that you've known Jaime Munguia since before he knew that he was a superstar.
That's another interesting part of this.
What's this like for you, having been with Jaime Munguia, having known Jaime Munguia and seen him?
Well, this is professional. This is professional for all of us. It's professional for you.
Definitely.
It's professional for me. You know, we don't get to choose who gets to win or lose, et cetera, et cetera. We just respond to it as it comes. I casually said something to Canelo yesterday. You know, I like Munguia. I think he's a really great guy. And instantly Canelo said, I like him too. I think he's a very nice young man and really enjoy being around him. And the subtext of that quite clearly was, I like him. I'm going to knock him out, but I like him. That's boxing.
Definitely. Well, Jim, we'll let you get on to your business as always. Marcus Hayes with Fight Hub TV. We enjoy just getting a chance to talk to
join
you.
Jim Lampley, Chris Algieri, Lance Pugmire, and Dan Canobio on ppb.com live chat stream during the fight.
There you go, folks. Pugilism, victory.
There you go.
Once again,
my main man.
Take care.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos of your favorite fighters over here on Fight Hub TV, and give us a follow online as well at Fight Hub TV on Twitter and on Instagram. We appreciate it, guys.